Good evening, and welcome to our first ever Olympic cast podcast. No, just kidding. You're here for another AGT podcast. Thought you had going there. Uh, we're still in a little break here because of the Olympics. I'm with Cody Mims. This is Cody Patterson.
Hello, this is Cody Mims.
To, excited we got one more week until AGT starts up again?
I am. I even had a dream about AGT this week.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was that about?
It was like, I think I was at the auditions and some girl asked me if I wanted to do a dance act with her, and then we did, and then we somehow got through to like a live show or something, and then we were just at the live show in the audience, so we hadn't really practiced at all, so it's kind of weird.
Well, congratulations for getting to the live show.
Thank you.
Tonight's episode, we're gonna take a look at some of the acts, some of the things that the other acts have done, some of the performers, if they've been on other Got Talent shows or if they've been on any other talent or reality type shows, if they kind of what they do in their personal life, things that they do with their act. We're going to kind of break that down and take a big look at it. So what I'm going to kind of do is hand it over to Cody Mims here and see what we can find out about these acts.
Yeah, so the basic theme of all this stuff is relevant information that you won't see just watching the show. So I went through all of that, but first of all, I thought it would be good to talk about how many episodes of the show are left, because I was wondering that myself, and I think we might be, a lot closer than you might realize. So basically, going into the semifinals, we're going to have 21 acts, and last year there were 2 semifinals rounds with 11 acts per round. So what'll probably happen is that there'll be some sort of wild card. I don't know if you want to make a prediction on who that is. It could seriously be anyone, but yeah. So we're probably just gonna have those rounds and then the finals. So we might just have 4 more weeks left. So I don't know if I'm really ready to wrap it up so quick, but it's an exciting season.
Yeah, what I'm seeing out on the Reddit is that the finale will be around September 13th. So I think you're right on track that we have about 4 more performance shows to go.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, there'll be a lot of stuff to figure out, and it'll be fun to wind it down, and pretty soon I think we'll have some announcements on things that we're going to do regarding the final live shows and then even after that. So stay tuned for that, I guess.
Yeah, we have some great stuff coming up.
Yeah, so anyway, getting into the acts, so one act that's still in this competition that has some interesting trivia is Lori Mae Hernandez. Probably the most controversial act this season. This is from the AGT Wikia. By the time Lori Mae Hernandez was saved during the first quarterfinals results show, her performance video on YouTube already had received over 4,000 dislikes, which is unusually high for an act in the live shows. And when I checked on this yesterday, it was at 10,344 likes and 7,371 dislikes.
Yes, I'll have to agree that she's probably the most controversial act we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I would say maybe only Dorothy Williams was more unpopular, but I'm not even totally sure about that. Anyway, getting to another act, Jon Dorenbos. Obviously, he has quite the resume. According to Wikipedia.org, he is an American football long snapper for the Philadelphia Eagles of the National Football League, or NFL for short. But he also has a lot of interesting other ventures. For instance, he is sort of a professional magician already. He has performed magic in Vegas and Hollywood, and in the off-season he serves as a corporate motivational speaker. And also, he's the executive producer of an album called Stripped Down with singer Steve Carlson, who is also Doornbos' best friend. He started his own business in Buffalo called DAC Framing. He works with several charities, including Brian Marmon's Punt Foundation, which helps out children with terminal diseases, and Garth Brooks' Teammates for Kids. And he's also the host of Inside the Eagles, which airs on the Eagles television network, and in 2009 he won a Mid-Atlantic Emmy Award for that.
Yeah, I was a little excited when I saw that he worked with Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks is one of my favorite singers of all time. I mean, I've grown up listening to Garth Brooks. It was a dream of mine to go see him in concert last year. And for Jon Dorenbos, who's also an NFL player, because I follow the NFL, so he is a long snapper, so that's one of the positions that's not one of the most well-known. You know, hardly anybody could name a long snapper on a team. And so for him to be in the NFL on one of the rival teams that I go against, but also works with Garth Brooks, this makes me even more interested in this guy.
Did you recognize him like how he did when he did his audition?
I did not, because again, he's a long snapper. He wasn't in one of the main skill positions.
Right.
So when he came out, I did not know who he was. When I heard he was with the Eagles, that really kind of piqued my interest on him some.
Did you have on your tinfoil hat for whether Howie actually knew, or did you think he was just very well versed in Eagles teammates?
I think he may have known. I think Howie follows the NFL. I mean, he's a celebrity, so he's probably been around to a lot of the games and met, been to see a lot of the teams. So he may have known who he was.
That's true. The next guy on my list of research is Tapeface. And I've talked about his resume quite a bit. But just to go over it real quick, his real name is Sam Wills. He was born in 1978, and he is a New Zealand prop comic, busker, and mime residing in London. On stage, he performs as the boy with tape on his face as half of the two-person act Spit Roast, or as Tapeface, or as Sam Wills. He's featured in the New Zealand International Comedy Festival. He began his performing career in Timaru at the age of 13 while he trained as an apprentice clown. And he actually holds a diploma in New Circus from Christchurch Polytechnic Institute of Technology's Circus School, where he taught juggling for 2 years. His inspirations have included circus freak shows and things like the Jim Rose Circus, and Truth and TV Extra magazine has even called him the Prince of Cringe. Which I don't know if we've seen him do much cringe comedy yet, but that could be interesting if he does that as Tapeface. In March 2008, he took his show The Boy with Tape on His Face to the Melbourne Comedy Festival, where it received great critical acclaim, 5 stars all around. And his first son was born in 2013, and his name is Rafferty Basil Danger Wills, so Danger is his middle name.
That's great that we were able to get this much information on a guy that doesn't really say anything.
Yeah. He knows when to keep his mouth shut, and that's got him far in life.
Yes. Boy, he's got a real long resume. Really, really impressive. And for him to grace us on America's Got Talent is great. It's really great to see him perform.
Yeah. So Laura Bretan, we've talked about this. She's won season 6 of Romania's Got Talent, so even younger than when she took the crown. I don't know how competitive it is over there, or even what song she did or anything. So maybe she's just using the same strategy as before. I don't know, but I think it's interesting that she she's won over there and she's hopping over here to hopefully win over here. And yeah, she's certainly not the act that has tried that the most, but it is interesting to see.
Yeah, I knew there was a Britain's Got Talent. I think there's an Australia's Got Talent. I would never have thought that there's a Romania's Got Talent. And I guess they accept people from other countries just as much as America accepts people from other countries to perform as well. So congratulations to her for winning that.
Yeah. Stephen Brundage obviously has a big internet following. They showed a bit of this on the show last time. He was in a viral video called Magician Gets Out of Speeding Ticket with Magic, and that currently has 2.5 million views. So what happens in this video is Steven asks the cop to give him an amount of time for him to solve the cube in, and the cop says, "I can't say 1 second, right?" And so he says 15, And then Steven solves it, right in front of everyone, spinning the cube in 20 seconds. And then he tosses it behind his back, scrambled, and he catches it solved, and he says, "That's the 1 second." And there's also a very funny comment on that video by the Dancer Macabre, who said, "These sobriety tests are getting out of hand." And Steven has also been seen on television shows in Russia, Japan, and Britain, as well as in the U.S., such as ABC's Good Morning America in 2014, The Today Show in December 2015, Caught on Camera with Nick Cannon in July 2015, Penn Teller's Fool Us in August 2015, where he did successfully fool the pair, and NBC's The Steve Harvey Show in January 2015.
I've seen parts of that Penn and Teller's Fool Us show. I haven't seen Steve Brundage's performance yet. I have seen the guy that we'll talk about next. They do a pretty good job at figuring out the act and how the trick is done.
Yeah, hearing about this has actually gotten me sort of interested in that show. I think I'm going to check it out pretty soon because it seems like a nice format.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and I think they have. I haven't seen a lot of the episodes, but I think they have different kind of hosts come in and do the show as well.
Okay. So yeah, the next guy is Blake Voigt, who is the other magician. He has created magic for David Copperfield, David Blaine, Dynamo, and many other top magicians all over the world. So I thought that was very impressive. He's actually made up his own tricks for big stars like that.
Yeah.
And he also appeared on season 2 of Penn and Teller Fool Us, but he did not fool the pair.
No, that episode I did see, and they were able to figure out his trick.
What has he done a trick that we've seen on AGT?
Not yet. No, I don't think he did the trick we saw on AGT.
Okay. So his audition was never televised, but it consisted of guessing several audience members' severe allergies, including Heidi Klum's allergy. So all 4 judges voted yes, and he got sent to the judges' cuts, and he is the only quarterfinalist in season 11 whose first audition was not televised. And he's also the first act to advance in the quarterfinals despite not having his first audition televised since the present judges' cuts format began in season 10.
Fascinating. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, so the next act was Brian Justin Crumb, and he actually was in Queen's Rock Theatrical, and he sang with original band members Brian May and Roger Taylor. So I thought that, explained him auditioning with a Queen song.
Yeah, it kind of fits for him.
Yeah. Julia Scotti has appeared on the original Comedy Central and was the winner of Showtime's Funniest Person in America contest for New Jersey, losing the finals to Ellen DeGeneres.
Well, if you're going to lose to somebody, Ellen DeGeneres is pretty good.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Kaden Bartrocket has appeared in film, commercials, and television projects, including guest starring on NBC during 2 live primetime episodes where he played Mini Howie Mandel. So,
okay.
I don't know if we're ever going to bring that up. He was also in Heidi Klum's Seriously Funny Kids on the Lifetime Network.
So he's already got connections with 2 of the 4 judges.
Yeah. I don't know if they recognize him or anything, though. He was also in 6 films, including his leading role in the worldwide theatrical release of Dark Skies with Kerry Russell, which is a science fiction horror film.
Okay, so he's got some acting chops to him.
Yeah. A lot of this is from the AGT Wiki, and I think they get these people's self-written bios, so sorry if this sounds kind of press releasey. Anyway, Malevo apparently likes to consider themselves the Magic Mikes of Argentina, and they were the only act to make it to the live shows that did not have an account on Twitter. They are represented by the hashtag Malevo.
Yeah, I noticed that as I was going through Twitter feeds and adding different acts to some lists that they did not have a Twitter account, and I thought that was kind of interesting. They every time they put something, they just put hashtag Malevo.
Mm-hmm. The Passing Zone also has their own very impressive resume. They've won 18 gold medals from the International Jugglers Association, and they hold 5 Guinness World Records. And also, they're one of 10 finalists out of hundreds of acts to perform during the debut season of NBC's America's Got Talent, where despite finishing as the highest rated comedy act, they lost $1 million to an 11-year-old, as they put it. They've entertained as part of the Royal Variety performance for England's Prince Charles, sharing the bill with Tony Bennett and the cast of Riverdance, among others, and have also been guest performers at the White House. They were the first jugglers documented to pass 11 clubs between them, and their performances have been seen as innovative, having created such routines as the Chainsaw Ballet, performed to the Blue Danube, and People Juggling, featuring 3 audience members hanging from special rigging. On season 1 of America's Got Talent, one of them climbed onto the other's shoulders while he bounced on a rollabola long enough for the duo to juggle a total of 6 flaming torches in unison. But David Hasselhoff didn't like them, and he said that's the act, while Brandy and Pierce Morgan wanted to see more. So in the semifinals, they did the people juggling thing, and they won over the audience and Hasselhoff. And they brought David Hasselhoff to the stage for the finals, and they wore torches on their heads and did wild stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw the act where the people juggling. I went on YouTube and saw that act, and that was very impressive. And I think this is an act that could seriously win this show. They have the experience, they have the resume, they have deep pockets when it comes to the acts and performances they can do. So I think these guys can do really well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more. I haven't really looked up any of these acts to watch their performances outside of the show, just because if they do bring anything back for the show, I don't really want to be spoiled. But some acts like this, I'm very excited to see that stuff.
Yeah. I was also impressed by this final piece where they were stand-ins in the movie Addams Family.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a thing where it was like obviously them or they were just regular body doubles, but it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Ronnie Martin, the last one, she can be found on many recordings as a backing vocalist for artists such as Wynton Marsalis, Patti LaBelle, and others. And she co-wrote the song This Is Love, which was recorded by her childhood idol Gladys Knight. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And Wynton Marsalis is a great trumpeter. And of course, Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight, you can't go wrong having them sing your songs.
Yeah.
So if she can't make it too far in the show, maybe she could do well as a songwriter.
Yeah, I hope so. But she has that drive to be a star.
Now, is she the one that performed on Broadway as a backup singer for a while, and now she wants to kind of do her own thing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, everyone, tonight's going to be a pretty short podcast. We kind of just wanted to go through some of the acts and provide you all with some background and their resume for other stuff that they've done. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. As you can see, we're all going through withdrawals here, so we'll definitely catch you next week on this podcast.
We're only a week away.
Tensions are rising. This is the calm before the storm. Prepare your buckets of popcorn and your voting machines.
Well, if you want to reach out to us, there's many ways that you can send us some comments or questions. We're on Twitter and Facebook at AGTcast. We're also on Gmail at agtcast@gmail.com. We have a YouTube channel as well, so go out there and check that out. But we're more than welcome if you want to send us any questions, post a review for us. That'd be great. We'd appreciate it. We're also trying to reach out to any of the acts that may want to do an interview. So if you happen to hear us and are related to any of the acts, hook us up. See if we can talk to them and get some information from them. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, also if you know anyone from iTunes, get them to refresh our podcast art, please, because it's been forever.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of get my name out on iTunes now.
Yeah, it's on every other service. Well, I guess your name is technically on there. We're just sharing an X.
That is true. It is technically on there. Well, that's all we have for tonight. Next week, we'll be back to the quarterfinals. We'll try to get a podcast out as quickly as we can once the results show goes out. and talk about what we thought of the final quarterfinals and what we see going into the semifinals.
Peace out.